was the fact that because the state deployed all its non-physical measures in terms of propaganda and tying the leadership up in meetings with the GOC and that sort of thing, there was very little time to actually put publicity out there. But I think it's very important because this issue is just as crucial for us as Zimbabweans as the more easily explained issues such as service delivery, like health and water. You know, this is a lot more complicated because there's the technical aspect of BVR, but it is just as crucial because today is basically about moving towards a free and fair election. The background to what is happening today is basically as follows. There was an all-stakeholder process and consultation where all stakeholders agreed, including ZEC, members of NERA, and this was all brokered by the UNDP, which offered to actually fund the new technology we're talking about, BVR. BVR, biometric voter registration, is basically a more modern technology that we haven't been using in Zimbabwe to make sure that when you go to vote, you are who you say you are. It's like basically using biometrics is basically the aspects of your physical body that you can't fake, like fingerprinting, so that nobody can go and pretend to be somebody else. And this is very, very crucial in having a credible, free and fair election. So that process was actually underway. All parties had met in Copenhagen and signed the undertaking and had actually flighted adverts to call companies to tender to offer their services in terms of providing Zimbabwe with BVR kits to register voters. And this seemed to be a done deal. However, at the 11th hour, the government stepped in and scrapped all the work that had been done, saying no, they were going to fund the BVR. Now this is incredibly dodgy and dubious, because this is the same government that is constantly in crisis because they are broke. This is the same government that is supposed to be funding ZEC, that is unable to register us as voters because they say, no resources, we don't have money. And yet they say they're going to find 17 million somewhere to fund this BVR kit. But it's not really, that is the reason why it's not believable and is obviously a lie. But the real issue is not the money. The real issue is that if government takes over the process, that means that they exclusively choose who provides us the technology. Which means that we won't be able to know, nobody will be able to tell us, is this company reputable? Is this company really honest? Is the technology that they're providing bona fide? Because in the original plan, every party, every stakeholder was supposed to provide a technical expert to inspect the BVR kits that were going to be used. But with the government taking over, it means nobody inspects. Nobody knows what is exactly inside that technology. Nobody knows how it is applied. Nobody knows, if it is credible at all, which makes the process completely opaque, which is not only disgusting to us as citizens, but to the law as well. In terms of the constitution, it's a clear no-no. It's clear. All of these processes, especially to do with the elections, have to be clear, accountable, transparent. And so the government basically came in and kicked the whole process over. So what are we talking about here?
If the petition doesn't go through, do we have a plan B in terms of trying to get the government to adjust to our requirements?
If I told you now, it would be only my personal opinion, because of course this is a process where we are coming together as different groups. NERA itself is comprised of 18 different political parties, and us as the citizens movement also have our own. So I can't really give you an official position, but I can tell you that the mood on the ground and amongst us is that we have to keep pushing, because this is the first game of a long season. Because we know that the government is going, and ZANU-PF specifically, is going to do everything that they can from now until the election in 2018 to throw up roadblocks and to confuse the process, to create chaos, in order for them to take advantage of it and give us another election that, is known by us on the ground as being completely flawed, yet they can tout to the world saying, oh no, we had an election, therefore we're democratic. But as a generation, we don't believe those lies anymore. The facade, the pretense of a democracy doesn't mean it is a democracy. You can't talk of peace and a democracy if ordinary citizens coming here to exert their constitutional right to express themselves and to protest against something that they're not happy with are not met with negotiations, but rather are met with plainclothes officers, with uniformed army people that arrived today, with riot police locking down the town. I mean, this makes our capital look like Somalia. What are we talking about here? We're talking about, as the problem is, we've become so used to it. But what this is a normalization of the absurd. Is this pretense by everybody that things are normal when we're living in a completely crazy society. I mean, we've got children going to school and youths studying for degrees that they know they'll never be able to use. And the longer we live in this situation, the worse it will be for our children. Which is why we as a generation are coming together today and saying, no. Our children will not inherit nonsense. Our children will not inherit strife and poverty and hardship and oppression. We can't accept it.
Thank you, Mr. Dick Frey.
You're welcome.
Cheers.